Hello the internets and welcome back to another NIKKE video, and we finally have Yukiko in game. By the way, they ended up only calling her Yukiko, nothing else, which is fine. And let's talk a little bit about her, how she's performing, how she feels in contrast to the other fire girls, and how both Makoto and Yukiko together actually also are improving their own damage and score. Now, a quick TLDR if you don't want to watch everything. These are exclusive Fire Week characters. If you are not a fire main, you don't care about fire too much, they are characters that will not be useful to you and you would not break your account by skipping them. However, Yukiko on its own, it's actually a really solid DPS for fire content. So let's talk a little bit about all of this, but before that we have to thank our sponsor for today's video, LD Shop. LD Shop is a top-up website that includes really popular gacha games, amongst them obviously NIKKE, Goddess of Victory, and it's really simple to top up. You guys can save up to 19% for new customers, or if you are a returning one, you can get a 15% off, and on top of that a 5% if you guys use my link. The process to top up is really simple. You guys have two options: the login top up, which is the normal one where they log in into your account, and the UID top up, which is the one I recommend, where you simply need to put your UID, what you want to be buying, your server, obviously, because you need to select your server. Remember that this does not work on the Taiwanese or the Hong Kong servers, but everywhere else it does work. So just put your server, your UID, what you want to be buying, and you can simply top up and you will be receiving it in game. The moment you're about to pay or before you are going to pay, simply click on the coupons, scroll down, and you should see our 5% off coupon for using our community link down in the description below and on the pinned comment, and simply click on pay. And after that, you simply go back into the game, and if you selected the option to pay and use your UID, you will automatically receive everything you just paid for. That said, it's a really simple process. Once again, you guys can save up to 20% for a maximum of $30. If you guys spend over $80 in 1 month, you can also get completely for free a 30-day supply, aka our monthly card in NIKKE. So once again, you guys have the link in the description and also on a pinned comment. Thanks to all the player, and back to the video. And after that ad break, obviously let's talk a little bit about the reference, what we got on our Yukiko and where she's at the moment. Level 761, base copy, bond level 10, phase 0 SR doll, level 0 on the gear, 7-10-7 just to get the extra damage on the distribute and the attack buff, pretty good. And I've been using resilience because I still don't have the new cube, which is the best cube for her, by the way. And I don't have enough max ammo to go for Bastion because this is a machine gun, and as like most machine guns, you want to be going with that, but I don't have enough, so it is what it is for me. Now I spent 55 to 60 rocks if I remember correctly. You guys can watch the stream, and I got really unlucky. So take that into consideration when we compare characters. This is attack elemental, 12% elemental. We got ammo elemental on a 22%, elemental here on a 13%, and here attack at 10%. So not good lines. In fact, because it is already updated here, thankfully, my Yukiko got 48% elemental, 22% attack, 400k combat power. In contrast to my Mihara, which has 600k combat power, 65% elemental, 38% attack, and my Rappi, which has 600k combat power too, having 92% elemental but only 15% attack. I did not compare with my Diesel because she sucks. 28% elemental, 30% attack, no elemental almost at all, so can't really compare with Diesel. But if you guys want my fair opinion, Yukiko can compete with Rappi, Mihara, and Diesel no problem, and Bestie, depending on the situation, Bestie will forever remain, you know, the best character for pushing on campaign at low deficit. But she can compete with the other fire girls only if the enemy is weak, or sorry, weak, it's actually wind code. That's it. If it's not win code, you cannot run Yukiko, and it's kind of like useless to be using her, to be fair. So you don't want to be doing that. But if you can take advantage of her kit, she's really good, and combined with Makoto, they can deal actually pretty good damage together. Now, that's it. Let's jump a little bit into damage comparison numbers and some things that are interesting on her. If you're curious on how to build her, at the moment, I would just go for elemental, attack, and max ammo as a machine gun. The more you shoot, the more damage you can dish out. Simple, right? When it comes to the skills, 7, 10, 7 works. If you really are a fire main, you will end up taking everything to level 10, but personally, I just don't get enough. I think that you could be going for a 7, 10, 10, and that's also great for the extra attack you're getting on the burst, but it's too much investment for what she's giving you in return. Again, for me, maybe for some people it is better. To me, I'm gonna be keeping both of them at 7, 10, 7 for that skill too, so they can boost each other even further. When it comes to the cube, the best cube is the new cube, the diffusion cube for distribute damage. If you don't have it, it's gonna be Bastion if you have enough max ammo for the refund. If not, then you go for the usual resilience cube. Obviously, destruction works for every character in the game as long as you can take advantage of the parts, like we always say. Okay, so that is a quick TLDR on her kit at the moment and what I will be doing. And now let's jump directly into the actual damage numbers and what I will place her on the tier list. So when it comes to her damage numbers between union range, I also did a couple individual runs on anomaly interception. If you guys are curious, you can go to my bot to check it. We'll check this below from Tarsis on a second as well. So we were doing union range 3-minute fights. As you guys can see, Mihara, Yukiko, 12 bill, 8 bill. Now, once again, this is a fully invested Mihara versus a Yukiko with all full stats, no dupes, no nothing, right? So Mihara is doing 12 versus 8. She is a great damage dealer for fire, only on fire, however. We'll see later how much she drops outside of fire. Let me go full screen here. Then we have same team. I was just switching to Rappi. She's doing 15, and then she was doing 8.4. Same damage, basically. Almost same damage, right? Nothing to zero. Then I was testing with mates, and she actually deals more or less the same damage, which is good. Because, again, this is a crown buffing Yukiko and Helm versus mates, making her do the same damage. So that is pretty good. You want to put them with the mates, in my opinion. Then I compare with Queen. Now, I did switch places. Queen is first, Rappi second. And she was doing 5.7 versus 12. Rappi did lose some damage here because, once again, Queen was bursting first. If not, we would be doing 13/14, just like in this one here. And then I put them both together. From 8.3 and 5.7 on Queen, we go all the way to 8 billion and 9.7. If you put Yukiko first instead, because Makoto should not be first, you can go all the way to almost 11. And that is already almost the same damage. If I get this first Yukiko, she can go to 10.5, 11 billion, no problem. This is almost the same as my Rappi, full investment. This is the same as running my Mihara on a normal Crown Helm team, right? So it is really, really good damage. In my opinion, it's worth grabbing a copy of Yukiko 100% if you care about fire content. If you don't care about fire content, however, they are not that great. This is not fire weak, same team composition, going from 8 billion to 1.8 and from 9.7 to 3.3. My Annie is out damaging both of them. Mates doing almost the same damage as Makoto. So outside of fire weak content, you don't want to be running them. There is like no reason at all to be running them if it's not fire weak bosses. But for that specific niche, Yukiko, it's a really strong character and I would recommend grabbing a copy for sure. I am most likely going to be putting her on T2 as a fire unit because on its own, she can stand no problem. And then Queen will stay on tier 3, but I will put this flag, just like the killer wife, the spare flag, because she does need kind of like to be paired there. You can run Queen on a shotgun team, yeah, sure, but it's still a waste in contrast to just putting them, both of them together. So most likely she will be a T2 character. We'll see what we're doing with that. Again, we need to test more, but for the first day should be most likely where she will be going. And then Tarsis got an 80% elemental, only 9% attack, 777. You guys can pause right there to see the stats of the other characters. All right, and he was doing right here 25-26 build with the mates. Let me go full screen once again. You guys can see the mates here. She's doing pretty good. 7.2, 11.1, 11.5, 7.1. He did switch places there, which is pretty good damage. And then right here, last week rapid performance, so this is from last week, with Queen, right? So he was doing 13 here, 4.4, and then switching places, 5, 12. Now he's still putting more because he's still testing with the other girls, as you guys can see right here. Instead of running them together, we put them with Rappi, and that's still really good damage. Considering, once again, that this 645k Rappi versus a 453 Yukiko. Yukiko is a really good fire DPS, but for most people who don't care about fire content, and for most people who are not sure if they want to be using their resources or not, it is really hard to recommend. I think it's nice to grab a copy of Yukiko, and if you don't get Makoto, you are, you're fine. You are not breaking your account by skipping Makoto, in my opinion. No assets, awful damage outside of fire. You need to either put her on a distribute damage team or on a shotgun co-op team where Drake will always perform better while buffing your shotguns. Or you can pull for the character that at least on its own can compete with the other fire DPS girls. I don't think she will be a T1 character because, like I said earlier, her biggest issue is that when you take her out of fire, her damage drops way too much. And that is a huge issue for characters like this. I don't mind it. I think it's nice to get elemental units that only work on those elements. And in fact, we've been getting those type of units for a long time already. Be it with your Senti, be it with the last batch of treasures as well with Sugar in there, be it with characters like even, if we're talking about Drake, or even if we're talking about Breed for the shotgun team as well as a B2. We've been getting characters like that for a long time. I don't mind it. Even on Summer, we got Miss Marcy, which outside Iron, you are not using, right? So Makoto is a character I could skip. Yukiko is a character that I could compare with Marciana right here. Okay, I will put them probably on the same place in that regard. That's it. That's basically everything for this video, honestly. I will be updating the website later after this video goes live. So on a few hours after this video goes live, the website should be updated with the first day of testing and with the first stuff. As usual, if you guys see this early review, it means, things can change. It's not guaranteed that it will change, but things can change, okay? In the case of Queen, nothing changes. In the case of Yukiko, a few things that will be changing on the upcoming days. That's it. That's enough for this one. As usual, we are live sometimes while I'm on vacation. And next week, I'm back at home and the schedule should resume. That's it. And once again, thank you to all the shop for sponsoring this video. And as usual, thank you guys for watching my content. Love you all bastards. Good luck with your pool dinner rates. And I'll see you in the next one.